You know, there's really 5 types of reels I think about when it comes to ice fishing. Yeah, I'm sure there's all different kinds, right? But I'm gonna talk about the styles, and I'm gonna talk about 3 inline and 2 spinning reels and why they get play in my arsenal, and then slowly break down each one. For starters, on the inline reel, this is going to be a 1-to-1 gear ratio. And what that means is every time I turn that handle 1 rotation, that's how much line is actually being picked up. So for me, this is going to be more of a shallow water application. I'm probably not going to fish this in 35 feet of water. It's going to take me a while to get that up, but I can pull the line up by hand. It allows me to fish slower, more comfortable. This particular model can be used both directions by simply flipping a bearing on the inside. Super easy to do. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube on how to do that. So this is going to be the type of reel you can use right or left-handed, and this is just your standard spool 1-to-1 ratio. Shallow water application, a lot of panfish, perch, things like that. I'm probably not going to use this if I'm targeting big game fish, walleyes, pike. However, you've probably seen videos I posted where, yeah, you can certainly land a larger fish on this. It's got a smooth drag, controlled right here, very adjustable, easy to use, all-purpose reel. That's your 1-to-1 spooler type reel. Then you jump to a 2-3-to-1 now. Just like the 1-to-1, this is a 2-3-to-1. So every time I do 1 rotation, 2.3 rotations of line come back. So this is going to be a little stronger pickup, faster pickup. So now if I'm going to start to use deeper water applications, let's say I'm fishing that Pinhead Pro in 18, 20, 25 feet of water, maybe even the basin type bite, this is going to be the one I want. It goes down quick or it goes down fast, comes up fast. I'm still pulling this out by hand. It's going to have a good drag system as well that I can adjust. So when that fish pulls the opposite direction, you can play that big walleye or that big crappie, but you're going to have that 2-3-to-1. And just like the other spooler, by popping out that bearing, I can fish this right or left-handed. So this is probably my favorite all-purpose inline spooler type reel. This is going to be the Dave Gens Spooler Elite. Big difference, 2-3-to-1, faster pickup. And then last in your lineup of inline is going to be a free fall type reel. So this is going to have, you can see, a little more sophisticated drag system. It's going to have a star drag. I can control that drag a lot easier. It's also going to have a lever that engages. You can see that. I hold that lever, that line, that lure can drop. I let go, it stops it. So that's going to be the ability to let that go without having to pull line out. So this is going to be great for deeper water applications. I see a lot of anglers use this even for larger game fish. It does have the better star drag. So if you wanted to use this style of reel, let's say for your sauger, your walleye fishing, you could certainly do that. So the big difference here is going to be free fall. I can engage that lure to drop. This is the Gravity series. There's also a Gravity Elite. There's a few different fancy colors. This one's kind of a chameleon. Super easy to use. This is going to be your really third option in an inline reel. A lot of different types in this as well. Then you go to a spinning reel. Now there's all kinds of spinning reels, all kinds of sizes and whatnot. I'm going to talk about 2 that really pertain to ice fishing. Let's call it a 500 series and a 1000 series for lack of a better term. And that's going to be down to the size of the reel and the size of the spool and the arbor. You can see right off the bat, this Katana reel is going to have a moderate size spool, great for panfish, even walleye. And the Tatsumi is going to have a little larger spool, larger diameter spool, more options for the amount of line you put on there. So for me, you're going to have more of a hardcore panfish setup, and then you're going to have more of your dead stick, maybe even walleye setup. It's really dependent on the pound test of line and the diameter of line. It might determine which one you use, but both of these are going to get a nod from me. And the nice thing about a spinning reel is when you are in those deep water applications, especially with a spoon or something you're not worrying about that jig spinning, I can bomb down quickly with this. Great drag system. Definitely going to get a bigger nod from me on game fish. If I am going to Lake of the Woods, Red Lake, Mille Lacs, targeting walleye, catfish on the horseshoe chain, I'm going to be definitely using a spinning reel. Better drag, a little better ball bearings in there, a little smoother, take a little more abuse on larger game fish, get down quick with faster and larger presentations. But the big thing is going to be the size of the reel. Heavy panfish, maybe more of my walleye, my catfish reel, and you get kind of the best of both worlds. So those are really 5 setups on how I put them into my arsenal. I'm using a lot of these types of reels. I would say if you asked me one of each, which one would I be using the most? I'm probably going to take that 2-3-to-1 inline, then I'm going to take that 500 series spinning reel. These are going to get the nod the most in my arsenal. So there's a brief rundown on reels for ice fishing. Touch the tip of the iceberg. There's all kinds of options, colors, flavors, styles, but that's going to give you an idea of what you could consider the next time you hit the ice.